Welcome to the Destiny Awakening Interviews, a podcast with Andrew Wayfinder and his guests, bringing you powerful insights, inspiration, and ways to break free, live life your way, and make a difference in our changing and challenging world.
So hello, everyone, and a very warm welcome to another edition of the Destiny Awakening Interviews. I'm Andrew Wayfinder, and I'm joined today by Chris Zervas, leadership and presentation expert, keynote speaker, author, and coach. And a very warm welcome to you, Chris. And where are you hanging out this evening?
Andrew, I am in the great state of Oklahoma, right in the middle of the United States. And we have sort of had this opening from winter, and we had like minus 14 last week, and we are back to kind of normal 50s and 60s. So spring is springing here. It's great to be here.
Well, that's great. Well, what I'd like to talk about tonight is both your work and your book. So Chris Zervas is the founder of chriszervas.com, Zervas with a Z. And for more than 20 years, Chris has helped CEOs, impactful nonprofits, and Fortune 100 companies understand the power of relationship-based leadership and communication to improve employee retention, increase productivity, and drive higher performance. Author of Bomb-Proof Constructive Feedback, Sustaining Healthy Conversations at Work, Chris has worked with teams and leaders in the energy, government, education, legal and finance, health, nonprofit, hospitality sectors, and many more. Born and raised in Oklahoma, Chris is a Cherokee citizen who lives in Oklahoma with his wife and 5 children. So thank you, Chris, for your time today. And the topic today is 3 secrets to high-level interviews.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And Chris is going to unpack that idea for us in 6 questions. So Wonderful. The first question, Chris, is who is your ideal client and what's the transformation you help them achieve?
Andrew, really, we've helped everybody from college students seeking scholarships to executives looking for a higher level in, say, healthcare, judges moving from a seated judge to a Supreme Court of a state seat. So it's been a variety of people that are just looking for, hey, I want to learn how to present myself powerfully before an audience.
Okay. And so what's question number 2? What's the biggest challenge they're typically facing in that scenario?
Well, I think they face a challenge of who am I, really? People have the ability to express things that they've done pretty factually. But for people to understand, hey, these are some real labels that I can attach to myself and build some story around that to present themselves in a light that really makes a difference for them. And I say story, Andrew, I think that's really a critical piece, is that audiences don't remember what we say so much. They remember what they picture, what they imagine, what they feel. And empowering people to be able to communicate that, their strengths and story, is a really big deal.
Okay. So that actually, I think you've partially answered question number 3. What's the number 1 insight you would share to help people who are concerned about how they present themselves or how to be more, to have more presence or more authority when they're speaking or going about their day?
Yeah, I can answer it on a different tack as well. We mentioned story, but I think the other thing is that it's really not about them. It's really about their audience. And so, for example, we recently were working with some attorneys that were seeking some judgeships. And the commission that they were to appear before has a variety of people on it. It has politicians on it. It has businessmen on it. And it has other attorneys on it. And so every one of those people has an interest in themselves. It's just the way that God wired us, is that we are first and foremost just interested in ourselves. And for them to learn to communicate things pronoun centered, like you want a judge who will be ideal for business that will rule fairly, that understands the small businessman, or you want a judge to the politicians that will enforce the statutes that you write, or to other attorneys, you want a judge who will be somebody who moves dockets across their bench. So I think speaking to the needs of an audience is really important. We tend to begin every sentence with I, but learning to make it about them is an important piece.
Okay, yeah, I think that's the Steve Covey thing. Seek to understand before being understood. Of course, I think it was Saint Francis who said it first.
That's a good one, Saint Francis of Assisi. Is that the guy?
Assisi, I think.
Yeah, very good.
Okay, so question number 4: What concept, book, program, talk, or even experience has had the greatest impact on you, on your development?
Yeah. Andrew, I would say probably, you talked about a wayfinder, and I would think understanding, I talked about it before, understanding really our selfishness. And for me, probably the biggest impact of my life, frankly, has been an understanding that God sent his son to die for me. And that's really changed my understanding of me. It's changed my understanding of how to help other people. And that would probably be the biggest impact that's really unfolded in my world.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so the opening to spirituality and a sense of connecting to something bigger.
Absolutely, that we're a small piece of this thing, and God is the orchestrator, and he sent Jesus to die for our messes and make us whole. So that would probably be undoubtedly the biggest thing. Yeah. So
okay, great. So, Chris, what's a free resource you'd like to share with the audience that will help them?
Well, on chriszervas.com, there's a place to sign up for a newsletter. And we are frequently, every few weeks coming up, we're going to be sending out some communication tips to help you communicate yourself better, understand your audiences, use the power of story to tell your story. So that would be a great place for resources that are ongoing and not just a one-time bit of info.
Okay, great. And then question number 6, Chris, what should I have asked you that I didn't?
Maybe what we talked about 3 secrets, Andrew, to help you with high-level interviews. And we've kind of touched on 2 of them. And let me give you the 3rd. So the first was, it's really about our audience and it's not about us. So who's my audience? What are their needs and what do they want? Should paint every answer that I get. It's not about me. The second is that stories stick and facts bounce. So we talked briefly about the power of story. And story is incredible in the sense that if I was telling a story right now and you had electrodes on your brain that matched these, and these were neuroimaging, let's say, the same part of my brain that's stimulated when I tell a story is the same part that would stimulate your brain when you hear it. So it's been used for generations to pass down information, history, religion, whatever it is. Stories are powerful. And the thing that we haven't talked about, the 3rd key, is to really know thyself and to be able to mine out some things that really are who I am. One tool that does that really well is Strengths Finders. In our work, we help people kind of mine that story. So as they tell a story, we can identify some things that they really are. So typically interviews for some of the things that we're working with are really brief. I have 15 minutes before a commission. So I don't want to have a laundry list of things that I am. I've got a few stories. I've got a few characteristics which identify me. I plug those into a story and I can answer really any kind of question with a story and a characteristic about me and interchange those things as needed.
Okay, so it's sort of like a kit of parts.
Correct. Absolutely, okay. Andrew. Great. Very smart. Very smart.
Okay, well, that's perfect, Chris. Thank you so much for your time.
Absolutely. Well, buddy, thanks for having me on your program. It's great to be with you tonight, and I appreciate it very much.
Thanks for listening to the Destiny Awakening interviews. If you have a friend who would benefit, please share and subscribe to the show on iTunes and leave a review. We really appreciate it. And remember, always use your power for good.